The wait is over, little Smokies. Let's talk about Jenny from the block today. And welcome back, everybody.
Yes, welcome back.
So I suppose we, of course, want to first say thank you to all of our new subscribers. Wow. I was shocked when I logged in and saw that. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you. I think it's partially due to our advertising, no? To be honest with you.
Yes. All right. Credit where credit's due. Our advertisement department. Also repurposed from the research department.
I wear both hats. And I'm talking about my t-shirt that you made.
Oh,
That
yeah,
I
that's
wore.
true.
Katie made me a Hot Dogs and Milk podcast t-shirt that I wore to travel home on the airplane as advertisement. Nobody
And when you
asked about
say,
it.
well, what did you expect? You're wearing a t-shirt with a giant hot dog on it. And you think people are just gonna come up and be like, hey,
I like your wiener. That's what I was hoping for.
actually, in today's day and age, there's a very, very high likelihood that is going to potentially happen at some point in everybody's life. But yeah, so we want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you for your patience. I would like to say that there was some type of technical difficulties that were preventing us from doing some sort of live or recording on time. But the reality is that's not the case. We ended up spending our time.
I was like waiting for you to make up some big long story. Yeah, you could
What
have fooled them.
story? What are you
I don't
fooled
know.
them? Yeah, so it turns out that Simone's actually a secret agent and got called out for the weekend. So she wasn't able, is like a story like that.
Yeah, secret
All right.
agent
Well,
man.
Agent 000 over here. Why don't you let the audience know what we're going to be bringing to them, which is actually really good. The wait has been worth it, hopefully. Well, hopefully.
Yeah, so today's podcast episode is going to be all about J-Lo. J-Lo.
For those of you who may not know who we're talking about, that is Jennifer Lopez.
The old Yennefer.
I think she's most commonly known for her cameo in South Park. Am I right? Yeah? Taco, body to body. So if you guys saw our community post, you noticed that was probably her best role ever, arguably. But we want to talk about her today because she turns out she's a trash human being. And we like talking about trash human beings.
We do, and I really liked J-Lo. I really did. And my opinion has been swayed, although no one can take Selena away from her.
Not even Selena? I feel like
Well, no, the
that's not
movie.
hers to have. It's actually Selena.
She did so good in Selena. What's your favorite J-Lo movie?
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
You
she's
know,
had good ones.
probably the greatest love story never told.
Is that actually what it's called?
I think so, which we're going to be getting into that a little bit later. But we thought, in an effort to bring everybody up to speed as to why we think that J-Lo is such a trash can of a human being, in addition to making sense of the catastrophe that is that movie I just referenced, we thought that this might be helpful for the viewers to understand why, well, not too many big fans coming out defending J-Lo right now. And get you guys under the same information and all of that stuff that Simone got so she could change her opinion.
Well, I don't think anyone's defending JLo right now, are they?
Not one. I
Well, they probably watched her trash movie and were like, nope, not gonna do it.
the people that were in it, it's like nice, like people being nice. Well, some of them, I don't know. We'll get into that in just a little bit, but we want to take a trip down memory lane here and get everybody up to speed with who J-Lo is, because you might think you know,
But you
and
don't.
you don't, or you might actually know and be on the same page as we are at this point, and just here to snark with us, because that's primarily what we'll be doing today.
All right, so let's break it down from the beginning. From
All
the
right, picture it.
beginning.
July. Is that even a song?
No, I'm
Oh,
just I'm just freestyling. I'm
you're all,
channeling my inner JLo.
no, you're not, because you're already more creative than she is, and everybody's about to hear about that here coming up. But you've already done more than she has at this point. So picture it, July 24th, 1969. For all those Golden Girls fans out there, it was a good reference, but that's when she was born.
1969. Got it.
Anybody else shocked to hear that? Because
Well, she just turned like I was gonna try to guess how old she just turned, but considering the fact that you just told me the year, I should be able to do the math, but I don't do math. So how old is she, Katie?
well, I'm not going to do that math right off the top of my head, and you'd think that if I gathered her date of birth, that I would have gathered the actual year, how old she is, but I didn't because I'm negligent. So she's 54 years old. Oh,
Got
Lord.
it.
Good thing I type fast. Ugh. So 54 years old, which I was recently, in the last probably year, caught saying, I wish I looked as good as J-Lo does.
She does look good.
Right? Okay. We're not
yeah.
just talking about, like, I thought, she's gorgeous. And then I watched that movie we're going to be talking about. And for 54, she's still, but also, holy filters and makeup.
She's no Martha Stewart, right? Right?
Yeah, she's no Martha. So J-Lo was born, of course, coming out of the womb, straight talent, salsa. She had two parents. Her father worked hard. Allegedly, he didn't give her the attention. No, not that he allegedly worked hard. I'm sure he did. I'm saying, my apologies for the pacing of that. So allegedly, he didn't give her enough love or attention or whatever. Okay.
That's sad.
She was a middle child, so she describes it as, I wasn't the youngest, so I wasn't the baby, and I wasn't the oldest. Yeah, that's what the middle child is. I'm not sure
Yeah.
why she had to explain that.
Well, she's JLo, so she got to make it about her.
Yeah. But when she was in school, she did softball, track, gymnastics. I mean, she even, like, in her athletics and for track was, like, competing at the national level and stuff. So she was good.
She's a track star. What's that song?
I don't know.
Oh, I'll find it, and then you can put it in a little blurb. Anyways, continue.
I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure there's copyrights for that, so probably can't. So you're making promises we can't keep. But she also did gymnastics and theater. Here's my shocked face. There's the acting. Okay.
Yep.
So in her early career, once she graduated and all that from the block, which I'd like to point out was a private Catholic school.
Yeah, she wasn't actually from the block.
Well,
from a block, I'm sure.
Wait, what?
I'm sure she lived on a block, but she's not from, like, the poor Jenny from the block that we know her to be. Right?
Do you understand what they're? Oh, for the sake of everyone, we'll move past this. Maybe I'll edit this out. Maybe I'll just clip this out. I'm not sure you understand. Yes, she is technically Jenny from the block. She is quote unquote from the block. She's from a block in the Bronx, which is what that's a reference to. But nonetheless, she went to a nice school. She hung out with, preppy people. She even I guess had short hair, which will later come back to haunt her because there are pictures of this, which we'll cover in a little bit. Excuse me. So after high school and all of that stuff happens, she starts as a backup dancer for New Kids on the Block and Janet Jackson at one point. She was actually incredibly talented as a dancer. That's what she was capitalizing on, right? Which makes sense with the level of athleticism she had. And we all know she can't sing. So, but at that point, I don't know if anybody knew that, but she ended up later on after, going through a dance career and doing some things with some bigger people, ended up landing a position as a fly girl dancer on In Living Color in the early 90s. So that really opened doors for her, exposed her to things and roles into acting and stuff. So by 95, she started My Family. That was her first big role, I guess you could say. Although, judging by the look on your face, you've never heard of it.
I have it, but I was also 7 in 95.
Were you 7 in 95? I don't think so. How old were you in 95?
I think I was 7. 8.
Okay.
I was close.
Okay. Close. All right. So after that movie in 97, she lands the role in
what?
The
Selenas! Hey, Selenas! Anything for you, Selenas.
And something that didn't come up when I was actually looking into this, which I'm curious about, in the timeline of popular movies. I thought this was popular. Maybe not.
Selena?
But the same year that Selena came out, so did Anaconda. But at any rate, she started that too. But so did John Voight, Ice Cube, Owen Wilson.
I like Owen Wilson.
It's weird how many bigger stars were in that, how terrible that movie was.
Yeah.
It's a classic, though. At any rate, she did The Wedding Planner in 2001, then Made in Manhattan in 2002.
I love those ones.
Really?
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey. Yep.
Oh. Why? Oh, but you don't love it for J-Lo?
Yeah, she did good.
She always plays nice characters, but as we go into this, you guys, you're going to see she's not a nice character.
She's not.
Her character is very narcissism-y. Ugh. So let's talk about her music, though. So we have movies spattered in there for the most part, rom-coms, things like that, with the exception of Anaconda. And then on the music side of things, she was viewed after, Selena, and people thought, wow, she could actually sing because she, quote unquote, sang in some of the parts in that, which we're starting to find out. Ah, yes, salsa away, Simone. I wish you could all see this. Well, she's going to be wearing her Selena graphic tee tomorrow. Hope everybody's ready for that.
I do have a Selena graphic tee, actually.
You think I just mentioned that because I didn't believe it to be a true thing? Okay, so in 1999, she decided to release her album On the 6th. Okay, so that's titled after the subway that she would take from the Bronx to Manhattan. Yeah, well.
When she was a maid in Manhattan.
Well, it's a subway,
I'm just
not a
kidding.
bus. So she couldn't go block to block, but, yeah. It was a different time. Payphones were still there, I
Yeah.
understand. So, that album that she released featured songs like If You Had My Love, Waiting for Tonight. Mhm.
If you had my love, no. I have those songs on my Spotify. Better delete them.
Well, you don't have to do that necessarily. I mean,
Solidarity, sister.
oh, who are you standing in solidarity with?
All the people she's been rude to.
Oh, well, that's fair. Okay. So I'd like to point something out. During the release of this album and all of this, she was actually with Diddy during the release of this album, which people argue he helped her kind of transition from Latina pop into the hip hop R&B scene. We kind of dabbled a little bit into the J-Lo Diddy relationship in
Mm-hmm.
our Diddler video. If you guys didn't catch that, I highly recommend it. He's a terrible person, but she was with him. Shocked because she's just such a genuine, high class individual. But nonetheless, she releases this album. She does great. She actually met Diddy filming for the video, I believe, If You Had My Love. But then in
I have a,
'01, huh? Oh,
I have a
question?
question. Yeah, you know that in what is it called? Famous picture of J-Lo when she's wearing that green dress.
The
You know what I'm talking
Versace
about?
dress. Yes.
Yeah. Where was this in all of this?
That was
Was
in
this
'01.
got it?
That was shortly before their relationship, and they were on the rocks, on and off again. There was questions of fidelity and all sorts of stuff with the relationships, which we're going to actually stumble into J-Lo's relationships here in just a minute. So we're gonna parking lot that. Mhm. Drive your little car over the parking lot, just valet it for a minute. We'll bring it back around. So she releases her self-titled album in '01.
I
I
own this.
Yes, I did own this. It's part of my notes. I did own this album. I did like this album. And the songs that I liked on this album, I'm learned are not even technically her songs. So we're going to get into that in just a second. And then in '02, she released that This Is Me Then, which is funny because it pairs with her Crap Now, which is This Is Me Now.
Yep.
Terrible. It's still garbage. Still hot, steaming trash. But nonetheless, let's talk about those albums though, right? There's all of this commotion, I guess you could say. A little scuttle on the
A
internet.
little cuddle.
Because it's coming to light that the majority of her hit songs are ghost vocaled. And here's the deal. I get it. Ghost vocals are used across the board. I get it. It's used often and frequently, backup singers, and some of these people had credits on the back end of the songs and things like that. I get it. Okay? I get it to an extent. However, the things that made these songs the hit are all the parts that the other people were doing. What? What?
Yeah.
So why don't you go ahead and tell the audience what some of these songs were, Simone? I know you have these.
I do, and I'm going to tell you which one I thought was most interesting. Well, two. Are you ready for it?
The
Are you
fact
ready
that there's
for
enough.
it? Dun, dun, dun. That's for our Taylor Swift fans.
Oh, I was like, I have no idea what's happening right now. Are you having a moment? Do we need to take a quick commercial break?
Yeah, that was for our Taylor Swift listeners. Hi, Rachel and Julie.
Oh,
Those are-
well, I am not a Swiftie. I Swift not, so I had no idea what was happening.
we should cover Taylor Swift. But anyways, back to Jenny from the Block. So that was the one that was most interesting to me, was Jenny from the Block. Because I love that song. I could still sing every word of that song.
All right, ready?
I'll
go.
spare you. I will spare you. But there's videos coming out about the person who actually sang it, Natasha Ramos, and she has videos of her singing it now. Right? Not back then. And back then. But
Well, technically, the record is her back then, so we have record of it back then and now.
yeah. That one was crazy to me.
Yeah,
But
don't be fooled by the rocks that I got.
nope, because she's still Jenny from the. She's not still Jenny from the block, or she'd be a better tipper. But shoot, she would. And then, okay, everyone knows who Ashanti is, right?
Mhm.
So J Lo's song "Ain't It Funny." I just have all these play in my head now.
Right?
She stole that song from Ashanti.
I'm not sure that she stole it. I think it was intended for Ashanti and written by Ashanti.
J Lo stole it from Ashanti.
Okay, so how we feel about it, sure. The
That
technicalities of it, that's quite the accusation you're making there.
Well, Ashanti thinks she stole it.
Well, okay. Okay,
So let
continue.
me rewind. Ashanti feels as though J Lo stole this song from her. Is
There
that
we
better?
go. And to avoid any type of defamation lawsuit, this is strictly our opinions based off of what we've heard. Please, nobody send any messages to anyone on our behest. Okay? Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean there's a few other ones. So Song Play, sang by Christina Milian. Is she even relevant anymore?
Well, yeah, but what's interesting is I think the song Play was the one that was intended for Christina Milian, but she had the pick between that she had partially recorded for and AM to PM, from AM to PM. You remember
Oh
that
yeah.
song?
Mhm.
And she picked from AM to PM. So she was totally cool. She ain't got no beef. Unlike Ashanti, she
Who's
doesn't.
got some beef?
Yeah, she's got some beef. She's got it on display. She's got full ribeyes laid out, spelling out J-Lo. But Christina Milian doesn't care. She's like, whatever, dude, I don't care. And she's also credited for backup and whatnot. But the Ain't It Funny, what's interesting is that there was a lyric in that song,
Yep.
a bad word that only a specific subset of individuals are allowed to use. And
That's
because
not cool.
Ashanti wrote it, but then didn't end up, you know what I'm saying? Then it seems like,
Mhm.
oh, J-Lo's saying it. And people are like, whoa, that was a big
Not
statement.
cool, J Lo.
It's crazy to me that they didn't edit that, but whatever. And then what about the I'm Real song?
Yep.
I'm real?
So
No, you're not. You're so not real that you didn't even sing the song about you being real.
right. So let's do like a when you watch never mind. That's a rabbit hole we don't need to go down. Let's do a recap. See, I stopped myself. I was about to go.
I'm very proud of you. Thank
I'm
you.
showing self-control. So let's do a little recap so far. So J Lo, born in the Bronx, went to school at Catholic school. She rode the 6 down to Manhattan. No, she did a lot of sports, started as a backup dancer, which leads into why I was so disappointed.
Wait, table it.
Okay.
Table it.
She stole songs from people except Christina Milian. Well, allegedly, she stole them. Air quote. Air quote.
So far, we're not building a very good case for Jennifer Lopez. No?
No, you're not.
Oh, no. Which leads us to celebrity hate and overall trashiness. Drum roll. I will try and edit an actual drum roll there versus using whatever just happened.
That was beatboxing.
Oh, wow. You tonight you have freestyled, you've beatboxed. Are you gonna triple threat us? What are you gonna do
Maybe.
next?
I don't know. I already danced a little too.
Oh, that's right. Well, there you have it, folks. Simone's gonna probably be leaving Beady Beady Bamba, leaving the podcast because she has a fruitful entertainment career ahead of her.
Hey, I've done everything J-Lo has.
Well, I don't know about that. Actually, let's talk about something else she's done that's terrible.
Right.
So these are the following, just a quick spitfire here. The following celebrities that J-Lo has pooped on
All right, let's hear it.
in the past. Now, I would also like to point out that J-Lo was established and started her, stardom pre-social media, everybody, okay? So it was much easier to manage things as far as interviews and what's out there and whatnot, right? Then you don't have these drunken tweets, or what are they called now? X's?
Yeah, I'm not on the X or the
What is that,
Twitter
like
or the
kisses?
tweet.
Sending kisses? Somebody kiss that, instead of tweet.
XXX.
Okay. So at any rate, all of this is from back then, which is terrible. The fact that she's not even in a compromised situation where people could film you or record you when you don't know and stuff like now. So Salma Hayek, oh, what a goddess she is. I just like to preface, I love her.
I like her too.
I adore her. Well, J-Lo was caught saying something along the lines of she's a sexy bombshell, which she's not effing wrong there. But
Yeah.
that's the only role she plays. She says she does other things, whatever that's supposed to mean. And she said it's a lie that Salma Hayek ever said that she was actually offered the Selena role.
I could see Selma Hayek as Selena.
So could I. Are
I
you
wouldn't
kidding
be
me?
mad about it.
Nope. Nope. And J-Lo trash fools rush in. Get out of here, bro. That movie's great.
Yeah.
Cameron Diaz, she said, and this is the time when these people were more relevant. I understand that they're not necessarily now. Okay, everybody give me a break. J-Lo's 50 freaking 4. Okay? She's been around the
Yeah,
block.
Cameron
She's Jenny from the block. She's been around the block.
a
Okay?
few times.
So Cameron Diaz, she said she's great and had so much opportunity, but essentially squandered it.
She did when she did Fat Al or whatever that movie. Shallow Hell.
That's
Fat
Gwyneth
Al.
Paltrow, not Cameron Diaz. All right.
You can see the mix-up. I like
Can
Cameron
I?
Diaz. Cameron Diaz, the last movie I saw of hers was The Holiday. Great movie. Jack Black.
So great that you confused her with a completely different actress. Winona Ryder, and how dare she ever have said anything bad about Winona Ryder?
I like Winona Ryder.
This is what she said. She doesn't understand how she's nominated for Oscars and Grammys and things like that. No one, not anyone in her group or otherwise, has she ever heard them say things like, I just love her. She doesn't understand essentially why she's so revered in Hollywood. Because she knows how to act, you idiot. God, I watched this freaking clip of J-Lo crying when she didn't get nominated for an Oscar or Grammy or
For
one of those
what?
things.
Oh, for music or
Hustlers?
acting?
Hustlers.
Hey, I liked Hustlers. That was a good one.
But was it good enough for an award?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, she literally thinks her own poop is edible. I swear to you, I'm convinced this woman is so delusional. But at any rate,
She is.
says Madonna can't act, right? It goes off about how Madonna's a terrible actress. She can sing, though. And it's like, that's funny. It's kind of the opposite for you, isn't it, J-Lo? Except you can't really act either. So.
Yeah, that's being a little bit too.
And then with Gwyneth Paltrow, this is probably why you were thinking of Shallow Hal, because she starred in that movie with Jack Black. She doesn't know what the big deal is. She's just a plain Jane. She hasn't really done anything, which fair point.
She's not. Yeah, she's not wrong.
She missed some skiing, right? With whatever happened with that accident. I remember, I missed a couple hours of skiing or something. So rich and famous people aside, right? They have money though, so they could be like, yes, suck it,
Yep.
They have awards, so eat a big ol' smoky. Big ol' little smoky. Okay. So, let's talk about the ill treatment of the general public, fans, servers,
Yeah, this is where
drivers.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I do not approve.
Mm-mm.
Do not approve, dude. So first, let's start with that a little kid, apparently a J-Lo fan, which is, I have no idea how, but this kid's a J-Lo fan and they see her at like a stoplight or whatever and it is like trying to get her attention and she rolls the window up, bro.
Okay. I can't fault J-Lo on this one. Sometimes I see kids, even my own kids, and I'm like, "Boo!" Automatic.
You better stop.
Roll up the window, lock the doors, you know? So, I'll let J-Lo have this one, okay? Some people
Okay.
don't like kids.
You want to keep giving her passes? How about you give her a pass on this one? So
Alright.
Ben has been known to be a trash bag in public in the past. It's a
He looks
50-50.
like a trash bag.
He does. Oh God, he's so gross. I don't know what anybody sees in this guy. He looks like what a heart attack would be if it was a person. I swear to you, he looks so stressed,
He
so
does look
just
stressed.
anxiety ridden, I feel like he smells.
It's probably because he's with J-Lo.
Could be, but he's gross. But nonetheless, he's been known a time or two to not necessarily be a total piece of doo-doo
Hmm,
and actually tip generously. And tell
yeah.
me how it was reported that he left $100 tip for someone. And Miss Taco Taco Burrito comes up behind him and picks up the 100 and replaces it with a 10.
How's she gonna do that? See? No.
Also, did she
Mm-mm.
pocket the 100? That's my main question here at this
She
point.
probably did. She's like, "I need to get my money back for my document." How do you say it? Document. Documentary.
What are you trying to
Documentary.
say?
Documentary.
Documentary? A
She was trying
documentary?
to. Sorry, I had a little stroke there for a
I
second.
know. Are you smelling burnt toast? What's happening right now? Ugh.
I can
I'm
never say that word. Documentary. Never mind. Keep going.
documentary.
Documentary. Okay.
There you go. Hey, we've all
But
made progress today.
but my point was is that she's probably trying to pay herself back for that crap she made.
Okay, well, uh, the other thing that's weird is like she doesn't let people, whether it's the help dancers, it doesn't matter. You're not allowed to make eye contact with her, including her drivers, which have been rumored to not be able to use the rear view mirror.
What?
That sounds very unsafe.
Yeah, she's risking the lives of other humans.
And herself. What? I mean, even if you want to be selfish, like at that point, like this is for you. So, um, and she had a man fired. So she's working at this concert. She's so adamant about this. Don't make eye contact with me. Don't look at me, whatever. That this security guard, when she was prepping for this concert, allegedly makes eye contact with her and she doesn't even say anything to him. She tells somebody else that he needs to be fired and this dude gets fired, which is crazy because he didn't even work for her. I don't even know how that works.
She's like, he's like, I don't even work here. You can't fire me.
Right? He's like, "What? I own this stadium. Like, what is happening?" You know? So overall, all in all, terrible, terrible human. Okay? These are some just a couple of brief accounts of her being a terrible human. So this leads us into the hot dumpster fire that is her documentary and alongside it her movie because she decided not one but two hot steaming piles of shit needed to be delivered to the general public.
Right.
So,
So yeah, we took it upon ourselves to watch it so you guys don't have to.
yes,
Oh.
it was terrible. And one might argue that's what delayed this podcast because we immediately watched this as soon as Simone arrived into town. We watched this after a quick run to the Costco.
I love Costco.
It was
Costco should sponsor us.
I don't think I've ever seen Costco sponsor any YouTuber, let alone do I think that with our 24 recurring subscribers and on
Hey, thank you
average
to
30 listeners.
thank you to those 24 subscribers.
Yeah, for real. We do really appreciate that. But nonetheless, we watched it. And we actually had some company with us, which I didn't anticipate. I had assumed that the mister would have immediately left the room and gone and done something else, anything, shoot himself in the foot with a BB gun, anything. But watch this. But he did. He joined us.
He did.
And thank God for that,
Yeah.
because that was one of the most difficult things I had ever watched, not just because it was terrible, but because it was very hard to understand.
It was hard to understand. I didn't know what was going on ever. Not one time.
I knew
So,
what was going on, some of it, but the music was terrible. And all of this stuff about her love life. And here's the thing that gets me. She says, and oh man, one of the funniest moments in that documentary was Ben. So she calls this movie and this album the greatest story never told, which was based off of a notebook with all these photos and love letters that her and Ben had written to each other years and years ago. That's how old they are, is people were writing
they were
letters,
writing letters.
not even sending emails. These were handwritten letters. But
The snail mail.
uh, he says, but if you're going to make it into a movie or an album, then you're kind of telling it.
It's accurate. He may look like a garbage can, but that's some wise words.
Yeah, he at least has a couple of functioning brain cells up there, because the entire time I felt like everything I saw from him was, this is a terrible idea. I cannot believe you're doing this.
Well, she was told by a lot of people that it was a terrible idea because nobody wanted to fund it. So,
Literally couldn't get anybody to touch this thing with a 10-foot pole
no,
until it was already created, right? And this is what I think. So $20 million, she self-funded this project. These projects, I guess.
that's
I don't know,
crazy.
however you want to, $20 million over this crap. And I really think that the only reason why the Zon picked it up was because they watched it and were like, this is a hot, steaming pile of trash that is
We
going to be
have to
talked
have
about.
it.
We need this. Sold to the lowest bidder, literally the only bidder.
I mean, so you talked about JLo's dancing skills from the beginning. So I at
Mhm.
least had hope that the choreography was going to be good. And it wasn't. I
It was
could
some of the
dance like that.
worst. You could dance like that. You'd be throwing your hands up above your head.
Yeah. And so she had to pay for it herself, right? So she must have skimmed a little bit on the old choreography.
Well, at one point she was crying, literally crying. I'm not saying this from a figurative perspective that she was just, moaning and groaning over something. She was actually crying, saying, everybody tells me not to do this, but it's what my heart tells me to do. My heart is telling me, so I have to do it. And it's like, I'm not sure if you're going for like this Academy performance, but it gives off narcissist, gross, icky, I'm uncomfy, I don't like it. And at one point she lists off, I'm doing all here's the thing, I wouldn't be listing all this off if I were her and be leaving it in the end cut, because I wouldn't be taking credit for some of this shit. She says, I'm doing the choreography, I'm paying for it, I'm acting and starring in it, I'm doing all this. Like, that's all she said. She didn't give credit to nobody but herself, bro.
You know the best part of that whole thing? Post Malone.
Oh yeah. Well, I think they were like, look, we'll pay you, we'll give you some Bud Light, and we need you to film for 2 days. And he was
They
like, you got it.
They probably didn't even say they would pay him. They're like, "Do you wanna go?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah, that
I'd
sounds
love
like
to be
fun."
in a movie.
Yeah, 'cause the and part of it, she's like, "Do you know what you're doing?" He's like, "No, not really," as he's drinking a beer. So he was just there for a good time.
Which I can respect that. I can respect that, but I just honestly, I'm shocked. And one of the most painful parts of this is knowing that she multiple times throughout the documentary said, "This is a movie that's not about me. This is not about me." But then continued throughout the making of said movie to say, like at one point with the little girl, she's like, "Okay, so you're playing me as a kid. I was a tomboy. Do you know what that is?" And all of this, and it's like, so it's you.
So it's about her.
So it's you. Like the wedding scenes. Hot
Oh, yeah.
mess. So, for those of you who may not know or may not be as familiar with her as others, J-Lo had quite the love life, and just really skipped around and got married a lot is the thing, right? If it was just dating, I don't think
She
it'd be that big
did.
of a deal, but she got married a lot. And so we're gonna go through a really quick rundown of who she married and dated and all of these things in the timeline, with the exception of Ben. We'll do him last because, well, he's the most relevant and most current, even though things happened, But
Can I just tell you something real quick? I just so 2 things. One, if you would like to have a good belly laugh, read some of the reviews of this movie. But secondly, I just looked up the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, and guess what they gave this movie?
a Rotten Tomato.
No, guess that's what's your guess? What percentage?
6.
100%
Bad? 100% bad?
good. No.
100% good?
Yeah, but guess how many reviews there are?
1.
7.
Oh, and I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes. You know how many times they say something's bad and it's good, and then
Oh,
something's good and it's bad?
100%.
It's almost
Yeah,
like I mean, look, 100%. It says it's good. You're right. You're right. So,
that's funny.
J-Lo back in 97 married this guy named and excuse me for mispronouncing anything. I am not a newscaster or a professional by any means, but Ojani Noah, who was a producer, she married him in 97 and they divorced after 11 months, dude. That was it. He was also court ordered. It's called something that I can't remember, but basically court ordered not.
Silence!
Yes,
A
silence.
gag order.
No, it wasn't a gag order. What?
Oh. I
No.
don't know. What's a court-ordered silence?
I would have remembered gag. Come on. So then she was with the old diddler from
Diddy.
99 to 01.
Yep.
It was a tumultuous relationship. Like I said, allegations of cheating. The diddler cites that, he could never really fully commit to J-Lo because he was still in love with Kim Porter. And I don't know about that.
Mhm.
Then she marries Chris Judd,
I remember him.
backup dancer. She met him
Yep.
in Love Don't Cost a Thing music video.
Love don't cost a thing. Sorry.
All right.
I think I have Tourette's, but like the song version.
No, I'm not sure that that's right. I think maybe just a quirky person, but I'm not sure that that qualifies for that diagnosis. See a doctor, okay? So he was a backup dancer, though. They were married from 01 to 02, but their divorce wasn't finalized until 03, but they split up, in 02. Then she married Mark Anthony and was with him from 04 to 2011. They had the kids, all that.
So she was with Mark Anthony for a long time.
Oh, yeah, real long time.
Yeah.
Then she was with Casper Smart
I remember that.
in November 2011, 4 months after her divorce from Mark Anthony. Also, everyone, 4 months. It was like I've arguably had dumps that have taken longer than that. Like, talk about a rebound. So, and they dated on and off through 2016.
That's a long time.
Casper the Ghost.
I like that movie.
This next one might throw you for a loop, though.
I didn't know this one, actually.
Drake. They actually dated briefly, and people had seen them out together at one point, and they never said anything. And then finally, they came out in January 2017 and said, yeah, we're dating. And then it ended in February 2017. So, were they likely dating a little bit longer than that? Sure. But short-lived. So, it looks like Drake always loses the girl, huh? At any rate, then Alex Rodriguez, March 2019 through April 2021, they were engaged, right?
Yeah.
And they broke it off.
I liked them together. I mean, whatever that means. I thought they dated for a long time, but they seemed like they were good together.
Well, I mean, for her, that was a long time.
Yeah.
And then we have good old Ben, right? So Ben, he dated J-Lo from 02 to 04. That was that gap after Diddy before Chris. Oh, sorry, I lied. That was after Chris, before Mark.
Got it.
So they were actually engaged and planned this huge wedding, and 4 days before their wedding, they broke it off.
Why?
They didn't even, in the documentary and stuff, they didn't even really come out and say a specific reason. They just said there was so much going on, and they didn't really say much, right? But then after that happened, Ben said, forget it. He married Jennifer Garner in 05 and started a family. They were together until 2018.
Yeah, I liked them together too. I like Jennifer Garner.
Then in May of 2021, J-Lo and Ben were seen out together, and everyone's like, oh, what? And Ben is very private. J-Lo is not.
Right.
And then they didn't announce that they were officially back together until 2022. And then they were married in July of 2022. So they had this, engagement before, and then this long break, and then they came back together. And all of these love people, right, this love list that we listed off of J-Lo's past, they all seem to, all of this leads her to believe that anybody gives enough of a shit about this that she should make a movie and an album.
Yeah, it's not good.
Also, there's points of that film that she's like actually physically abused by some of her spouses or boyfriends or whatever you want to call it. But the thing that's weird about it, though, is she actually makes a point to say that she never was in any of her relationships. So I'm like, why did you even put that in there? Like, I don't get it.
Maybe that's the one part that's not about her, but everything else is.
And then add to that, after that came out, all of her past schoolmates and stuff coming out being like, just shut up, dude. You weren't like that.
Yeah.
You were, running up and down the block and all this. Like, I don't know, man. My opinion about her has changed quite a bit.
Me too. It's quite first Puff Daddy, now J-Lo. What's next?
Well, I'll tell you what's next. What's coming up next for us is actually going to be, another drum roll, please.
Me or the computer?
Well, we'll just, everybody imagine a drum roll. That sounds like a can of beans being shaken. All right. Can I get the can of beans, please? We're actually going to be talking about
Milk.
No, OJ, actually.
Ah!
Close. But not what you guys think, not the drink.
No, we do not drink hot dogs and OJ.
With the recent passing of Mr. Simpson, there's been quite the news around whether or not he'd done it.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this interview that surfaced. I'm not sure when it did. I've read things that it was Obviously it was filmed in 2006, but possibly released in 2018. I don't know. All I know is that we have recently seen it,
Mm-hmm.
and we have some things to be discussing about Mr. O.J. Simpson.
I'm excited
Hypothetically.
for it. I was trying to think of a joke that I heard about OJ. OJ kills, milk doesn't. Something like that.
You're trying to make up a joke?
No, I heard it a long time ago. Milk. No. I'll bring it
Was
back
it
for
like on a Got Milk ad or something?
I
What
think
was
it was on
this?
I think it was on like a shirt. I'll remember the punchline correctly and bring it next time.
Okay. Well, you had actually extra time this time around to come up with your goodbye in a different language, and I'm
It
wondering
sure
if that frantic scrolling on your phone has to do with that again, or if you actually had that ready to go. But we do want to thank you guys for stopping by tonight while she's getting her life together here. We do hope that you enjoyed this little history lesson and mini review on her movie. I suppose we didn't go into too much detail because just go walk over to your kitchen, wherever your trash can's at, open it up and take a look. Stare at
that's
it for 2 hours, and you got it.
So, okay, I have my goodbye, but you probably say it better. How do you say goodbye in German?
How would I know? Why are you
I don't
asking
know.
me like I was prepared for this?
I just figured this would be common knowledge for you. I don't know.
Common knowledge?
Off
I'm not even German. What?
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen?
Yeah, Rachel, can you please correct me when you listen to this? Thank you so much.
That's not what Google says.
Yes, it's goodbye in German. Auf Wiedersehen.
I think it's Auf Wiedersehen, but also Jujul is telling me, hold on, Verabschiedung.
What's that?
It says goodbye in German.
No.
I'm serious. So, all right. Well, you heard it here first, folks. Google Eyes. No, we really do, though. Again, appreciate you guys stopping by, enjoying some of the J-Lo talk with us. And we're going to be actually circling around on the OJ stuff next week.
Yep. Pretty excited about it.
And I'm going to have to ask that you come a little better prepared next time with your goodbyes, because
I should practice like all week. I'm gonna wow your socks off next week.
what if I come without socks?
I don't know if I should wow anything else off. Maybe your glasses.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Okay, well, I guess we should probably stop while we're ahead or while we're already so deep. However you want to look at that. But we appreciate you guys. Thanks, Little Smokies, for stopping by, and we will be catching you next week.
See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile.